Alright, guys, second story for the day. I do have a third story, but it's kind of a nothing burger, so I might just drop that, just do the two, actually, to be honest. Tucker Carlson has gone to Russia and interviewed Vladimir Putin, and the establishment is losing it over this. There are certain people that are calling for him to be charged with treason, even though previous mainstream media journalists have interviewed people like Stalin and Putin and, those sort of people before. But, But the reason why they don't want this interview to come out, in my opinion, is because of the fact that it shines a light and it breaks the narrative when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war. Let's see what Tucker has to say, and then we've got an update for Alex, and then I'll tell you why I think they really care about this.
We're in Moscow tonight. We're here to interview the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. We'll be doing that soon. There are risks to conducting an interview like this, obviously, so we've thought about it carefully over many months. Here's why we're doing it. First, because it's our job. We're in journalism. Our duty is to inform people. 2 years into a war that's reshaping the entire world, most Americans are not informed. They have no real idea what's happening in this region, here in Russia or 600 miles away in Ukraine. But they should know. They're paying for much of it in ways they might not fully yet perceive. The war in Ukraine is a human disaster. It's left hundreds of thousands of people dead, an entire generation of young Ukrainians, and it's depopulated the largest country in Europe. But the long-term effects are even more profound. This war has utterly reshaped the global military and trade alliances, and the sanctions that followed have as well. And in total, they have upended the world economy. The post-World War II economic order, the system that guaranteed prosperity in the West for more than 80 years, is coming apart very fast, and along with it, the dominance of the US dollar. These are not small changes. They are history-altering developments. They will define the lives of our grandchildren. Most of the world understands this perfectly well. They can see it. Ask anyone in Asia or the Middle East what the future looks like. And yet the populations of the English-speaking countries seem mostly unaware. They think that as nothing has really changed. And they think that because no one has told them the truth. Their media outlets are corrupt. They lie to their readers and viewers. And they do that mostly by omission. For example, since the day the war in Ukraine began, American media outlets have spoken to scores of people from Ukraine, and they have done scores of interviews with Ukrainian President Zelensky. We ourselves have put in a request for an interview with Zelensky, and we hope he accepts. But the interviews he's already done in the United States are not traditional interviews. They are fawning pep sessions specifically designed to amplify Zelensky's demand that the U.S. enter more deeply into a war in Eastern Europe and pay for it. That is not journalism. It is government propaganda. Propaganda of the ugliest kind, the kind that kills people. At the same time, our politicians and media outlets have been doing this, promoting a foreign leader like he's a new consumer brand. Not a single Western journalist has bothered to interview the president of the other country involved in this conflict, Vladimir Putin. Most Americans have no idea why Putin invaded Ukraine or what his goals are now. They've never heard his voice. That's wrong. Americans have a right to know all they can about a war they're implicated in, and we have the right to tell them about it because we are Americans too. Freedom of speech is our birthright. We were born with the right to say what we believe. That right cannot be taken away no matter who is in the White House. But they're trying anyway. Almost 3 years ago, the Biden administration illegally spied on our text messages and then leaked the contents to their servants in the news media. They did this in order to stop a Putin interview that we were planning. Last month, we're pretty certain they did exactly the same thing once again. But this time, we came to Moscow anyway. We are not here because we love Vladimir Putin. We are here because we love the United States. And we want it to remain prosperous and free. We paid for this trip ourselves. We took no money from any government or group. Nor are we charging people to see the interview. It is not behind a paywall. Anyone can watch the entire thing, shot live to tape and unedited, on our website, tuckercarlson.com. Elon Musk, to his great credit, has promised not to suppress or block this interview once we post it on his platform, X, and we're grateful for that. Western governments, by contrast, will certainly do their best to censor this video on other less principled platforms because that's what they do. They are afraid of information they can't control. But you have no reason to be afraid of it. We are not encouraging you to agree with what Putin may say in this interview, but we are urging you to watch it. You should know as much as you can. And then, like a free citizen and not a slave, you can decide for yourself. Thanks.
Now, apparently this interview actually goes for about 2 hours. So Alex Jones has talked about it, and we'll play that now.
Okay, folks. Tucker has announced that he's got the Putin interview, and he just texted me and said, yeah, it's amazing. It's 2 hours long. It's going to drop very, very soon. They're not going to sit on it. And it's going to be history-making. We're trying to stop World War III. All the different sides should be talking. This is amazing. So, obviously, tomorrow on my weekday show, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., I'll be covering this. But it sounds, from what Tucker said, when he's told me, this is imminent. So this is a big, 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 big deal. And all the censors are in absolute, full, and complete panic mode right now because they don't want the American people, who they keep in the dark, to have any idea what's really going on.
Just want to say, Alex Jones is a bit of a redhead.
But free speech is what America's all about. It's our birthright. So, 2-hour Vladimir Putin, Tucker Carlson interview about to drop. Fuck you, New World Order. Take your censorship and go fuck yourselves.
I love fucking Alex, I do. I totally agree with him too. Go fuck yourself. Obviously, at the end of the day, guys, we will be, so we're doing the live show every Sunday night, Monday morning for Australia time. You can guess what this week's is going to be about. Right? Like, we've got a 2-hour interview with Vladimir Putin. What do you think we're going to cover? Yeah, it's going to be a long live session. But yeah, we'll be covering it on Sunday night, Monday morning. But yeah, obviously at the end of the day, it's obviously Tucker Carlson's in Moscow. For Putin, the pro-Kremlin crowd hopes so. It's not pro-Kremlin, it's just people that want all the facts. But this is how they're phrasing it, right? Is like, how dare you go through and interview people? Oh my God, it's... Mind you, obviously mainstream media has also gone through and interviewed people in the past. So... you know. Right. Mayor Taylor Greene defends the prospect of Tucker Carlson interviewing Putin and amidst rumors he's in Moscow. Taylor Greene defends the prospect of Tucker Carlson interviewing Russian Vladimir Putin. The Russian Telegram channel Mask said Carlson was spotted in Moscow in the audience at the Brush Theatre. The report that Carlson was in Russia sparked speculation. He might have interviewed Vladimir Putin, who has rarely left Russia since the beer bug pandemic. Democrats and their propagandists are in the media are splashing the prospect of Carlson interviewing. They actually were claiming that he should be charged with treason. Like, God forbid. They hate when someone like Tucker goes off script. But it basically, you basically get like all the establishment shills are just losing it. Obviously, at the end of the day. But also, that said, he has a lot of support too. So the people want to see this interview, but the establishment don't. And Tucker Carlson gives his list of questions to Putin. Tucker Carlson's a national treasure. He had committed how much admire him in the risks he is in the American people. Tucker Carlson after Putin interview. Tucker, a beautiful city. I'm allowed to say that. Why do I feel guilty like I'm betraying my country?
I want to go to Siberia, I want to Lake Baikal, I want to go to St. Petersburg, I can't. I'm hardly an expert. I mean, culture is a complicated thing. I don't speak the language, so I know very limited amounts about the culture other than what I've read and experienced the past week. But I think this is a beautiful city. I can say that, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but it's just true. And again, I'm 54. I'd never been here before, so I had no idea what to expect, and I expected something very different. And I think the city is just amazing. I'm amazed by the amount of 19th century architecture you have.
Can I ask you about your interview with Putin?
With who?
With Putin.
I've heard the name, but
With our President Putin.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but I don't. I can't say anything. Thank you. You walked me into a corner.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here. I really do like it. I'm not just saying that.
Flashback. Angry over Tucker Carlson interviewing Vladimir Putin. Here's when the US MSN interviewed Putin in June 2021. So, like, if it's treason to interview Vladimir Putin, well, was it treason then? But yeah, like I say, the mainstream media has gone through and interviewed Putin numerous times in the past. Not to mention other people. So it's not like this is like a new thing. You know, like at the end of the day, as a journalist, if I had the opportunity to sit down and interview Hitler, would I take it? Hell yes. You know, I disagree with everything that he had to say, but I still would interview him. But yeah, they're literally trying to call for treasons and all this sort of stuff. So it's a bit funny. But guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I will be watching the interview on Sunday, Monday morning, and we will live stream it. And I am expecting a whole bunch of problems when it comes to the live stream, but obviously we'll try our best. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourself. That's presuming it's out this week. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.